Yeah, Dick, you know, we're not trying to pull the Debbie Downer on you here, but there's going to be a problem with some of those showers that we've seen across the area, and those showers that initially looked like they could help us out with a little bit of rain. That's going to be less and less the case as we push throughout the next 24 to 48 hours, and we'll have more on that coming up in just 1 second here. But I'm going to go ahead and shift focus here and show you what's going on in the Los Alamos area right now. As far as our temperature goes, we are still in the low 80s at this point. Relative humidity right around 13%. So we're getting a little better setup in that respect, but the winds south of 13 miles an hour sustained. We have had some gusts above that here over the past, say, hour and a half or so. We've had some gusts close to 30 miles an hour, but right now that's not quite as big an issue. Meanwhile, in the Albuquerque area, well, we're getting a little bit of smoke in the metro. 90 degrees for a current temperature. Relative humidity there about 14%. Winds out of the west 29 miles an hour. Across the state today, there are some really warm temperatures. Earlier in Farmington, we were at 99 degrees. Now we're at 93 degrees. Taos, 90 right now, 91 Santa Fe. The Albuquerque area looking again in the low 90s, and Socorro about 90 degrees down south. Of course, we've been in 100 for, what has it been now, 3 weeks, and that continues across the area. Wind gusts are an issue. The good news is here in Los Alamos at the reporting station, wind gusts now down to 18 miles an hour. Albuquerque at 39. Raton, big time winds, 40 miles an hour there. Santa Fe close to it. They're at 29, and Roswell too. So we definitely have the wind going to some degree. The problem is the winds will be a big factor again for tomorrow as well. Let's take a look at the overall satellite and radar here across the state, and this tells a little bit of the story and what we're talking about. Then we'll get into the real risk here. Today we're seeing a couple of showers out in western sections developing, and a few more from the central mountain chain out to the east. Now normally we would tell you this is great news, this is a good setup for us, it's exactly what we need, but it's not necessarily what we're going to need here over the next couple of days, because a lot of the rain that you see showing up on your radar isn't necessarily reaching the ground, and over the next couple of days it's really not going to. So let's break that down for you. What we're worried about is dry lightning here, and we've talked about this before. Take a look at this graphic. When you get thunderstorms that form above very dry air, as the rain tries to fall down through that dry air, it ends up evaporating before it ever hits the ground. So the lightning ends up hitting the ground, the rain itself ends up evaporating and forming a tremendous amount of wind, a downburst in effect, and it's that downburst that can fuel fire growth and new ignitions. That's going to be a problem over the next 48 hours. Not only here in Los Alamos, but across the state, because we're so dry just about everywhere. So it's one of those things that's good news, bad news, and unfortunately for us, it's probably more bad news than good news. Now, the overall breakdown and the setup we're expecting over the next 24 hours or so looks like this. We are going to start to see some increased winds. We've got a storm system well to our north, which is going to close in, and then high pressure to the south. This effectively puts a little squeeze play on New Mexico, and we increase the winds out of the south. That's what's going to happen here in the fire zone tomorrow, and we could see some gusts up around 35 miles an hour here in Los Alamos and along the ridge tops as well. So big time concern there. We'll watch that very closely for you. Beyond that, a spot shower possible into Thursday, but I wouldn't get too excited about that either, because that could well be dry stuff versus, of course, the wetting rains, which we badly need. Let's go region by region for you, and we start in the northwest tomorrow. Temperatures for the most part in the 80s and 90s, including 99 again in Farmington. Grant's at 93, Durango at 92, and the extended forecast for both Durango and Farmington, temps in the 80s and 90s over the next couple of days. Then that risk at a little bit of dry lightning and a few spot storms will be possible later on this week and into the weekend. Across the south and west, temperatures here for the most part in the 90s to triple digits. Lordsburg at 101 tomorrow, 101 in Deming, and Silver City 92 degrees. Winds out of the south tomorrow 15 to 25 miles an hour. Extended forecast for Silver City. We go partly cloudy for a couple of days, but then the chance of those dry storms comes in. Maybe if we can push enough moisture in, we get your garden variety thunderstorms, which would be very helpful. Across the southeast, another scorcher tomorrow. Not as warm as we've been, but still, that's pretty hot temps. 102 in Roswell, 105 in Carlsbad. Cloudcroft, the cool spot. No surprise, 79 there. 7-day forecast. Going to be looking at temperatures cooling a bit into the mid-90s with that chance at a spot shower or two toward the holiday weekend. We will have wind gusts, though, tomorrow across the southeast at around 35 miles an hour. Meanwhile, northeast for tomorrow, anywhere from 102 in Tucumcari to a pretty comfortable 84 in Mora. There is the chance of a spot shower during the day tomorrow. Wind gusts going to be 35 or better, so that's a problem for us. High 80s for the most part in Las Vegas with that chance of showers later on in the week. Northern Mountains, same sort of deal. Spot showers will be a possibility over the next few days and really for the foreseeable future. So we do need to watch out for spot fires in Santa Fe, cooling into the 80s. And let's quickly work our way down into the East Mountains here, metro area as well. Mainly going to see temperatures in the 90s, winds out of the south 10 to 20 miles an hour. So we will have to contend with a little bit of wind as well. Some spot storms possible later on into the weekend and next week. So Dick, not great fire conditions here, but they could be worse. Tomorrow though, watch the wind. Going to be totally the key here.